Hello and welcome to the webinar. I'm so glad that you're here and I really hope that you're pumped. Today we're going to talk about how to get your business idea out into the world in 6 weeks or less and actually know that it will succeed. My name is Rochelle Delia and today I am super pumped to talk to you today, and I just know that we're going to deliver a ton of value. And if you are a current employee, if you're working for somebody else and you are just fed up and tired and really want to create your own future and start working on your own ideas as opposed to someone else's, then this is the webinar for you today. I am located in Columbus, Ohio, and we are just super excited to deliver a ton of value to you today. So I just want to hop directly into it and tell you why you need to stay tuned and watch this webinar. So first and foremost, you're going to learn exactly what you need to do to get your business launched so that you actually create a blessing and not a monster. Hopefully that resonates with you today. Next up, you're going to learn the number one thing that suffocates business owners and actually kills their dreams. Okay, we are all in the dream building business, not the dream killing business. And so knowledge is power. And so today I'm super excited to share with you the number one thing that suffocates business owners and actually stops them from living their dream. Next up, you are going to get 7 amazing tactics that you can implement right now, today. You don't need to know anything more, do anything more, that you can implement right at this minute to get on your path to business ownership. So, hopefully you already know why you should own a business. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this webinar. But in case you don't, I just want to just bring these things back to your remembrance, back to your memory, so that you can just be in the right state of mind. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. So you can get in the right state of mind for the rest of what I'm going to share with you today. So, first of all, owning a business gives you a sense of pride because you get to create your own revenue. Now, tell me, there can't be anything better in this world than knowing that you go out and not having to depend on another person, another individual to take care of your livelihood and your family's livelihood. That is a pride that no one can take away from you. Next up, you have the opportunity to create jobs. Okay, this is, if we have any Ayn Rand fans out there, Ayn Rand fans, Ayn Rand fans, then people that like the Fountainhead, and things like that. You want to be a producer. You want to have the opportunity to create jobs. And if that resonates with you, then that is why you should own your own business. In addition to being able to deliver value to your community. These are the people, the movers and the shakers. These are the people that own your dry cleaners. These are the people that own your laundromats. They own the restaurants, the bars, everything that helps make the economy and the world go around. Today we're talking about stepping up and being a leader. And one of the biggest rewards for being and showing that leadership is that you get to hear client and customer success stories. My own entrepreneurial pursuits, my background is in real estate. And so for me, listening to some tenant success stories and client success stories, it really warms the heart and lets you know that you're doing the right thing. And hopefully you want to start a business in order to help people to solve a problem. And if so, let me tell you that hearing those client and customer success stories, there's nothing better. Finally, next up, let's not skirt around the elephant in the room. Owning a business gives you the chance to make money and hopefully a lot of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth all the effort and energy that it takes. So if you want to have untapped earning potential, no one is telling you that you have to wait 12 to 18 months before you can get your next promotion, before you can get a raise. Owning a business is for you. There's no limit. There's no cap to the amount of revenue you can make, no limit to the amount of profits you can make. It is totally up to you. It is untapped potential. There's no cap on what you can make. If that appeals to you, then owning a business is right for you. And then finally, and what resonates with me the most, is that at the end of the day, owning your own business, it's your vision come to reality. It can be a little scary. You do have to take the leap, but let me tell you that seeing something that you thought of and seeing that being birthed out into an actual reality and changing people's lives and actually helping people, that is what it's all about. And times they are changing, and it really is important to have a business these days. The global economy isn't what it used to be. Most of us that are millennials, we remember 2008. We know what it was like. It can be hard out there to find a job. Companies don't have loyalty to employees anymore. And in reality, employees don't have loyalty to companies anymore, and for good reason. I mean, look at this graphic on the right-hand side. Bob got his pink slip, and it's embarrassing to get laid off. It's embarrassing for someone to tell you that they don't need your services anymore. Don't give anyone else that leverage over you. At the times that we're living in today, retirement is your own problem. My parents, they have pensions. They have the ability for the government to pay their monthly salary all the way into retirement. But the reality is that is changing too. Even people with pensions are not safe. We've all heard that Detroit is bankrupt. Puerto Rico is bankrupt. These government agencies, Social Security is underfunded. These government agencies that are supposed to be our livelihood and are supposed to take care of us, they're not there. They're not able to do it anymore. They don't have the finances to do it. So our retirement is our own problem. We have to secure our own futures. And so today, I hope that you are getting motivated and ready to hear how you can secure your own future and make sure that your future is bright for not just yourself, but for your family and any other generations that you want to fund as well. So before we get going, I do have a few disclaimers before we get too far into this. So this webinar is for future business owners, not just the entrepreneurs. And I have entrepreneurs in quotes here because we're talking about those people that want to be in business, they want to play business, but not actually do it. Today we are talking about dollars and cents. We're talking about profit. We are talking about revenue, okay? This is not for people that have an idea and they're trying to necessarily have a widget that needs a ton of funding before they can get out the door. No, we are talking real dollars and cents. You're going to make something. You're going to sell something. You're creating real value. We're tactical. We're on the ground. We're nitty gritty. We're dirty. It's not that entrepreneurship in the purest form is bad. We love people. We love venture capitalists. And if that is something that you want to do, we can absolutely help you with that. But at the end of the day, it's all about having a tangible business that can create revenue. Because honestly, if people aren't willing to exchange their dollars for a service, that means that it's not something that's needed. So this webinar is for people that actually want to solve problems and create value in other people's lives. So what does that mean? That means, newsflash, you can sell a boring product over and over again. What you offer doesn't actually have to be revolutionary or cutting edge. I know I might be breaking some hearts out there, and I hope that this really lands on you in the right way. What we're trying to say is, you don't need to know anything else. You don't need to know anybody else. You don't need to know anything else. You already have the skills and the fortitude that you need to start a business today, right now. You don't need to be on the cutting edge of something. You don't need to go back into the lab for another 12 years before you have something that people will purchase from you. And this can be physical or digital. It can be an actual teacup, or it can be a digital product, an information product, an electronic book telling people how to go into a pottery class and make their own teacups, and what temperature they should put in the kiln, and how many layers of paint they have to put on, and how to make designs, and what stages of glazing go on. So you can either make the product yourself and sell it, or you can teach people how to make whatever it is that you have expertise in, and that is called a digital product. And if that is something that you're interested in, then that is absolutely full of value, and people will pay you for it. Today, we're not talking about glamorous. We're not talking about fake online stuff. We're talking about real businesses and real success stories. At the end of the day, what I'm talking about here is owning a process for producing profits, not dreams with no revenue. So if that is okay with you, and if you agree with these disclaimers, then please do listen to the rest of this webinar, because I know that it will change your perspective, and hopefully I'll be able to give you the value that you're seeking today. So just to set the stage, I want to give you a little bit about us. So again, my name is Rochelle Delia, and I am with BusinessSalesStrategies.com. We are a boutique marketing and branding and value positioning firm in Columbus, Ohio, out in the Midwest, and we really want to help and show people that they can drive sales, have businesses, and really change their lives. So a little bit about us and our background. So we've served industries and businesses across a range of industries, from hospitality, so that will be bars and restaurants, financial services, so if you're a financial advisor, those sorts of things, insurance brokerages, real estate brokerages, e-commerce platforms, e-commerce businesses, and even the startups that do want those pitch decks to get that venture capital funding. We've served people all across the spectrum, and our work has been featured in some major publications. Basically, we are a real business. We're Better Business Bureau certified, and we're not just some fly-by-night internet marketers. While this is a recorded webinar, which I hope you knew that already, we are a real business. We are delivering real value, and hopefully today you will see that. And we just know that business is the future, and we want to help you and empower you in order to start your own as well. So, enough about me and us. Let's get back to you. So, you've decided that business ownership is right for you. Now what? What do? It can be so confusing to figure out what you do after you figure out that you want a business. Okay, so what happens next? And the reality is there actually are a lot of choices to make. You have to pick the right business model. You have to know what you're going to sell. How do you brand yourself? How do you launch? How do you do those ongoing marketing activities? And in which order do you do them? And how much do you spend? And there are just so many choices and so many questions to ask and answers to find. And so I'm going to go through each one of these and shed a little more light on what choices there are to make in each of these different segments, from no idea or starting your idea all the way out to the launch and that ongoing marketing. And as I go through, like I said before, I'm going to give you those 7 action-packed tactics that you can implement right now, to get started on your business journey. So, first things first, you have to figure out where you're going. In order to create the business that you want, you have to know what the destination is. I'm not going on a road trip, and I don't know if I'm going an hour away, 6 hours away, or cross country, because that's going to determine the type of vehicle that I take. If I rent a car versus take my own, if I pack just a few snacks, if I don't have any beverages or anything along the way, or if I'm packing a full-out cooler for snacks along the road. You have to know where you're going, because that's going to tell you how you have to set up your life and what systems you put in place in order to make it happen. So, tactic number 1, I want you to bring it back to kindergarten and start daydreaming. That's right. What was your dream as a child? What is your dream now? Let your mind wander, let it flow. But I'm going to challenge you. I want you to get very, very specific. So not just, I want to live a fabulous life and live in a high-rise in New York City. No. How many stories is the building that you live in? Which floor of the building do you live in? How large is your apartment? How many square feet? How many bedrooms? What do you wear every day? What do you do every day? Do you spend your time in meetings? Do you spend your time managing staff members? What does your life look like actually and in reality? Get as specific as you can, because the more specific you are, the easier it is to chart out a path to get you there. How do you know where you're going if you don't know where you're going? How do you know if you've arrived? And so this point, it may be a little woo-woo for some of you out there, but honestly, if you are able to daydream and actively make it a vivid picture. One of the things I like to do is to take on a quiet Saturday afternoon, just turn off everything, turn off social media, turn off your phone, turn off the TV, and just lay back on the bed and just let your mind wander. It's kind of like that moment when you wake up in the morning, before you get up, you're awake, but you're not actually moving yet. Yeah, kind of tap into that place. And let your mind wander, let your mind dream, let it be vivid, let it come to you. And it's in that place that you'll be able to really understand what it is that you want out of life, and specifically what you want out of your business, so that you can grow and make it happen. So that is tactic number 1. That is the secret to creating a business that you know and that you love. It is figuring out what it is that you actually want on the inside and then manifest that out into reality. And honestly, written goals are the best. Things that are just in your brain is just a thought. They're just that. They're just thoughts. Only those things that are written down, those items that are written down so that you can see them and remind your mind's eye and your subconscious. Those are the ones that actually get reached. And getting even more specific about this daydream. Tactic number 2, determine the scale. So by scale, I mean, how big do you want your dream to be? Are we talking about we're building a side hustle, or are we building a major enterprise? Are we going to be a solo owner working by ourselves, or are we planning to hire employees? There are no wrong answers here, but these are the hard questions that you have to answer in order to build the business that you want. Next up, determine your income goals. Are we looking for supplemental income? Are we looking to cover our expenses only? Are we looking to replace our income? What I mean by this is, let's say that you make $60,000 a year, so that's $5,000 a month. Okay? If you have a small eBay business, for example, that's supplemental income. So maybe you bring in an extra $1,000 a month. It allows you to buy an extra pair of shoes. It clears, some of the financial pressures you have, but you still need your day job. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that on your own. You don't need anybody else. It could be a side hustle and bring in supplemental income. But let's say you want a little more. You want to cover those expenses. You want to cover your mortgage payment, your car payment, your utility bills. Now you need something a little bit more robust than maybe just a side business. It's not that you can't still do eBay, but maybe you hire a part-time assistant to help you photograph the clothing or whatever it is that you're selling on eBay, right? So you might need a little help in order to scale it up, in order to cover your expenses that may be $2,500 a month. Now let's say you're trying to replace your income. At that point, if you need to bring in $5,000 a month, most likely you may need to hire some help. You may be thinking about more of getting to an enterprise level. At this point, it might be something you want to do full time and do it in place of your day job. Again, there are no wrong answers here. It's a matter of you being true to yourself and what your goals are and actually bringing them to reality. On the right hand side here, I have some yearly goals of one of our clients. Now, this is as of July 2017 is when I'm recording this webinar. And what you can see here is a screenshot of sales. So this person decided to buckle down. They were doing one-off consulting gigs and kind of, taking work as it came, not really focused on it, had too many hands in the fire. And what we helped them do was focus and niche down on one specific business that they wanted to focus on. And that happened in middle of February, early March. And honestly, the results speak for themselves. So in January, they were bringing in about $2,000 a month. In February, they went down, had more expenses than what they brought in. And in March, they were able to really say, okay, I'm going to double down and I'm going to focus on X. And then in April, they were able to gain some traction. In May, even more traction. And in June, this trajectory is phenomenal. And this is after only 4 months of focus. Tell me, what would an extra $6,702 do for you? Would that be enough to replace your income? Hopefully it should be enough to cover your expenses. So the idea is there are no wrong answers here, but when you're able to really niche down to what it is that you want, then you can focus and the sky really is the limit. Next up, you have to choose the right problem to solve. And by this we mean, where are your interests? What do you like? Who do you want to hang out with? Who is your target audience? If you could pick people that you want to help and serve, who would those people be? Like, what do they do? What are their hobbies? What do they do for fun? Where do they work? What is it about them? That helps you create something called a buyer persona. And once you have a buyer persona, then you can figure out what it is that you can serve them. You can determine what is that industry size and what type of keywords you may want to do. Let's say you want to make an online business. What sort of keywords you should use in order to target that person. So let's say, going back to my teacup example, I love pottery and I love making handmade teacups. And I want to target ladies that are early retirees that are looking for something to do because they have a lot of free time on their hands, but they have a lot of friends that are still in the working world, and so they want to have some trinkets to beautify their home or maybe their vacation home because they are wealthy enough to retire early. So that is my target audience. Their age is between 55 and 65. They are females, and let's say they have an average income of $100,000 per year. That is my target audience. My buyer persona would be me making that target audience into a sample person. So I'm going to say that my buyer persona is Gwen Smith. Gwen worked in advertising for 25 years, and she and her husband are planning to retire, and she retired early. She is 57 years old, and she is spending her time making pottery and gathering little trinkets as they start building their dream vacation house, retirement home in South Florida. So Gwen Smith is my buyer persona. I know what Gwen likes. I know where Gwen shops. I know where Gwen lives now. I know everything about Gwen, and I can now craft my business to target Gwen. I know what the industry size is. I can figure out how many people are selling pottery to people in Gwen's demographic. What sort of words would Gwen look for when she is Googling? Maybe she's looking for vacation home decor, or she's looking for second home decor, or interior design for second house, things like that. So that would help hone my keyword research so that if I were to build a website, and I'm not saying that you have to, but honestly, being online is the way to be these days. But let's say you're building a website, an e-commerce site, specifically for selling your pottery items, then you can target keywords that Gwen is most likely to look for as she is trying to outfit and beautify the second home that they're building in Florida. The whole point of this is that if you choose the right problem, you will make good decisions from the beginning so that you don't create a monster, you actually create a blessing. So, tactic number 4 is to think about who you like to or would like to spend your time with, because these people are going to be your clients and your customers. So be very specific, as specific as you can about them. So give them a name. What is their income? What are their hobbies? What are their interests? And most importantly, what are their problems? Gwen's problem is that she's trying to decorate a house from thousands of miles away because she and her husband live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and she wants her home to be beautiful, and she wants to purchase pieces now that she knows will fit into that home once it's built and ready for them to move in. Next up, you have to choose the right product. So in my example so far, we're selling our pottery teacups. So I have a picture of a teacup on the right-hand side here. But you have to know what to sell and what's going to resonate with your market. So what's going to resonate with your Gwen? What do you already know how to do? And what do people compliment you on? And again, would that be a physical product or a digital product? So let's say that you are constantly going out for drinks and hanging out with your friends, and no matter where you go, people always compliment you on what you wear. They say you're the most fashionable person they know. They love how you style your outfits together. They love how you mix colors and patterns and textures and really how you put your entire ensemble together. That is a skill that you already have. That can be a product. You can have a clothing line. You can sell individual pieces and accessories, or you can teach people how to accessorize themselves more effectively and efficiently with fewer items, but still looking fresh and beautiful every day. So again, think about what the right product would be to serve your target market and where that intersects with what it is that you already know how to do and where your skill set currently lies. So, tactic number 5. And I really hope you're getting value out of all these bombs that I'm dropping today. So, write down the skills that you already have and then figure out what sort of products you can derive from not only your target market, but the skills that you have. And where that intersects, that's where the money lies. And finally, next up, we need to choose our business model. What is the best way to deliver your teacup? How do you deliver your teacup to Gwen? What is the method of doing so? And when we're thinking about a business model, this can be everything, again, a physical store, an e-commerce site, a membership site, a mail order, subscription business, where people come and maybe they get a teacup of the month club, for example. It doesn't really matter, but you have to think about your lifestyle and how much time you want to devote to this, and really, what are you trying to accomplish in the end? So like we said before, you have to figure out, are you trying to be a solopreneur, or are you trying to build a full-out enterprise business? Do you want this to be a side hustle, or are you trying to make this full-time? Do you want to live in that high-rise in downtown New York, Or do you want to have 12 children and live out in the country in Oregon? There are no wrong answers here. But if you're going to live out in the country in Oregon with 12 children, you may not have the time to build a full-out enterprise with employees, right? And if you do, then there might be some additional family support that you need. So it's very important that you choose a business model that is in direct alignment with not only who your target audience is, what is going to serve them best, but also your lifestyle and the time that you want to devote to it. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you to think about these things from the beginning. And this is really what kills most business owners, is that they rush into something and they really push it out and they don't take the time to be strategic and really think about how they can build a business that supports their life and the life that it is that they want. Next up is branding. Now, I bet you're like, now wait a minute. We were just talking about Gwen and her teacups and everything, and now you're telling me I have to build a brand. Why do I have to build a brand? Branding is a waste of time. It's not. Iconic businesses build brands. That is how they're able to endure over the long haul. Seriously, building a brand offers consistency across channels. You have a cohesive message, and what it does is it builds trust. And how that's accomplished is via something called brand guidelines. So these brand guidelines are the things that really make your business unique. When you look at these logos that are just popped up on the right-hand side, you think of places like Nike, Gucci, Rolex, Apple, and Disney. Each of these businesses, and even just their logos, brings ideas and different connotations into your head, even without even interfacing with their products. Just by seeing the Nike swoosh, not even their name, I think of running and being an athlete. And I know that if I want to run a marathon, I can trust Nike shoes to be there with me and allow me to cross that finish line with ease. If I want to have fun and be whimsical and actually have an immersive experience in some movies that I've seen, I know that Disney can do that. If I want a quality product, I'm recording this webinar on a Mac right now. So if I want a quality digital product, online device via an iPhone or a MacBook Pro, I know that Mac and Apple is a company that can allow me to be a content creator. And that's what brand guidelines do. They allow people to have ideas and associate personalities with your brand. And what that does is that builds a robust business. So, how do you do this? You have standard colors. You have a logo. You have a tagline. You have brand values and standard fonts. No one else can use the font that Disney is using in their logo. I'm pretty sure they trademarked it. And if they haven't, they should, right? Like, that is their essence. That is what gives them their guidelines. That's what makes them robust and enduring as their brand. It's like having standards in dating, honestly. Like, Disney is not going to go and use Comic Sans ink. Now, I might like Comic Sans, but Disney has their own font that establishes them clearly and distinctly from other companies and other movie makers. And that in and of itself is what allows them to build a brand and not just a fly-by-night movie business. Next up, after you have your brand, your branding, and you have your products and everything, you have to figure out your launch strategy. Whew! I don't know about you all, but I'm getting tired. I mean, there are so many choices to make. But I hope that you're getting value out of this and you feel empowered. You've learned about brand guidelines now. You know how to get specific. You know how to create a buyer persona. So I just know, and I really hope that you're finding value in these tactics that we're sharing and that you feel empowered and just a little bit closer to starting your own business. So next up, we are going to launch. And what you have to do is figure out those highest impact actions first. How will people learn about you? Where should you go for clients and customers? And most importantly, how do you develop and test your prototype? How do you see if Gwen, archetype Gwen, how does she like your teacup? Right? And where do all the Gwens of the world hang out? Does Gwen play bridge? Does she play golf? Does she play tennis on Saturday mornings with Beth and Jean? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there now. But how do you get in front of Gwen and all her friends? And how do you know which actions are going to give you the highest impact and basically give you the best return on your investment? That's what a launch strategy does for you. And next up, after you launch, you have to keep going. So now after you found one Gwen, how do you find the next 10 Gwens? And then once you start sending out the teacups to Gwen and all her friends, how do you keep marketing to get more Gwens in the door? That is what keeps you going, and that's what keeps a business going. And my friends, that is where processes come into place. So at the beginning, I promised you the secret that turns most business owners, it turns their dream into their nightmare, and that is the lack of processes. These normal business operations and not having them automated are what turn businesses from dreams to nightmares. And so I am pleading with you to get your processes in order. So what I mean by that is, what will it take to run your business without you? What if you are again having this eBay business? What packages do you use? What size boxes do you use? Do you use tissue paper? What color tissue paper? How many sheets of tissue paper do you put in? How do you fold the box? How many pieces of tape do you use to cover the box? Where do you place the label on the box? Making things systematic and not having each individual customer have to have a custom product, that is what allows businesses to endure. That is how you're able to grow. Even if you're a solopreneur, having a process in place will be invaluable for allowing you to be able to keep going and not run out of battery like this emoji I have on the right hand side here. And we're even talking about things like your bookkeeping, your legal. It's important to speak to an attorney early on to make sure you have any questions you have answered. Your tax person. And then those ongoing marketing and advertising. How if you're going to do online or social media ads, how do you keep that going? And what are the processes in place to do so? Processes are the key to keeping your systems going, to keep your business running without you physically and emotionally running out of juice. Tactic number 6, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Everyone has heard of Legal Shield, and we might snicker when we see those commercials, but let me tell you, Legal Shield is a wonderful resource for budding entrepreneurs, and they allow you to actually talk to an attorney and get your questions answered. So if you don't already have a Legal Shield account, I recommend that you do so. I'm not even getting paid for this. There's no affiliate link or anything here. We're just honestly trying to deliver value and recommend a service that we know actually helps budding business owners get their questions answered and do things right. They will refer you to a law firm in your city that can address whatever need it is, be that legal issue, a contract you need drafted, anything you need reviewed. Legal Shield is a wonderful resource and totally worth the money in our opinion. And again, we're not affiliated with Legal Shield in any way. We don't sell their product. We're just happy customers and really want to deliver a ton of value to you today. So, just to recap these tactics reviewed, first up, and we're delivering a ton of value to you, and I hope that you feel empowered and ready, and I hope you have notes. If you didn't have notes out, go run and get an ink pen right now and write these tactics down so that you can have them, so that you can start building your business if you don't already have one. And if you do have your business, you can still use this to grow and scale. So again, tactic number 1 was to daydream about your future life. And again, get very, very specific. Tactic number 2, figure out your scale. Are we talking a side hustle or an enterprise? Tactic number 3, figure out those income goals. Get out a calculator. What are your expenses? How much cushion do you need? Are we looking for a side hustle? Are we trying to replace our income? Or are we trying to blow our day job out of the water? It doesn't matter. There are no wrong answers here, but figure out what you're trying to go for and what your goals are. Tactic number 4, think about who you like to or would like to spend your time with. There's that saying that you are the sum of the 5 closest people that you hang out with every day. Who do you want to be? And do the 5 people that you most commonly hang out with, do they mirror who you're trying to be? It's who you're trying to be. Would they hang out with your current group of friends? And if not, well, you know what changes you need to make. Again, be very specific. Who do you want to spend time with? Who do you want your client to be? What is their income? What is their gender? What are their hobbies? What are their interests? And most importantly, what are their problems? What are Gwen's problems? Tactic number 5, write down your skills. What can you do that Gwen might like? And tactic number 6, sign up with Legal Shield. Talk to an attorney. Get your questions answered. I have $40 a month here. I think that might be the price of their highest package. Don't quote me on that, but hey, at the end of the day, $40 is very inexpensive to figure out how you can sell your teacups to Gwen in the most effective way possible and legally. So I have one more tactic that I owe you, and I'm going to give you that right now. So, at the end of the day, you can do this. You can start a business. The future is yours, and you just simply have a decision to make. And tactic number 7 is really and truly the most important. You have to determine the timeline to take action. Because even though I've told you all these things, and I've laid out the roadmap for you from idea to launch, at the end of the day, you have to take action. So, are you ready right now? Are you ready today? All you have to do is spend a few dollars to get some inventory or to do some marketing and you're in business? Are you 3 months out, 6 months out? Are you just curious about it, about starting a business or owning a business? Only you can determine that timeline to take action, and whatever that choice is and that decision is that you make, that is going to determine your future. So I'm going to challenge you today to take action now and don't wait. This time is a golden age. We are on the cusp of an entire revolution. It's like the Industrial Revolution is happening all over again. We have the internet at our fingertips. We can do this. You can do this. So the choice is yours. I've spoken for a lot of minutes here. I don't have a clock around me. I don't know where my cell phone is. But I've given enough value where you should know now, hey, I can do this. Anyway, choose wisely. So at this point, if you'll bear with me, I do have an offer, and hopefully you'll stay on to the end of the webinar to hear our offer to help you out. If you so choose, Business Sales Strategies is willing to help you grow and start your online business. Because at the end of the day, this is a lot. I mean, I need water right now. Matter of fact, let me get a drink of water. This has been a lot. My mouth is dry. I'm dehydrated. Talking about all these different steps from the idea phase to the product positioning phase, choosing the product, identifying what my buyer persona is, what I'm going to buy, what are the intricacies of this person, what about my branding and my brand positioning, my brand colors, my standard fonts, my marketing efforts, building my processes on the back end. If you want to help along the way, Business Sales Strategies is here to help. And if you're wondering why we're doing this, at the end of the day, like I said, we are a boutique firm here in Columbus, Ohio, but we need our reach to be greater than just Ohio and Columbus. At the end of the day, we are on a mission. And we're on a mission to create a global ecosystem of clients, friends, and yes, fanatics, and leaders of resilient companies. Why? Because we want to preserve legacies. We want to provide support teams, systems, and infrastructures to help people grow and manifest their businesses and their dreams. And this can all happen through a business. A business is the most empowering asset that the person can own. And we are on a mission to empower more people to have their own business and actually own processes for producing real profits. So, if you're willing, I would like to invite you to join the mission. We have a program called the Future Business Leaders Academy. What this is a 6-week group coaching program where we go through, just as I've laid out here today, everything from the discovery phase of figuring out what it is that you want. We have a questionnaire, goals, and quantifying what success looks like to you all the way through the launch. So I'll just speak on each of these right now, just really briefly. So again, Future Business Leaders Academy, this is a 6-week group coaching program. In the first week, we label this week Discovery because we have an intensive questionnaire where we really dive deep into what your goals are. We quantify your success and really figure out what type of business is going to match your needs and your goals and really the lifestyle that you want to create. In week 2, we dive deep into research. This is where we do something called a market landscape. So we see who else is out there selling teacups. What's the economic outlook for your teacups? What about your target market? We help you figure out that buyer persona. We help you identify Gwen and where Gwen is. Week 3 is strategy. That is where we review these business models and these planning. So how are you going to get that teacup to Gwen? Again, e-commerce, info products, physical business. How is Gwen going to get your teacup or your pottery making ebook, your pottery making guide on how she can start making her own teacups and pottery to outfit her entire vacation home. Okay? So it's all about having the right strategy. Week 4 is branding. Again, those brand guidelines, what are your brand values, those fonts, those logos, images, and color schemes. In week 5, we get deep into marketing, your website, having a one-pager. If you are going up for a capital raise, making a pitch deck, a media kit. A media kit is simply a brochure, a modern-day brochure that really speaks to what it is that you offer, who do you offer it to, and what is the unique positioning that your company has. And in week 6, we call that our launch intensive. That's where we go deep into operations and process development. And since this is a group coaching program, we even have a one-on-one session with each member of the coaching program to make sure that they have everything that they need to launch their business successfully. So what's included in this? You get recorded phone calls. So let's say that you have something come up, you have to say leg at work. Don't worry about it. We record all of our phone calls, and you can email us if you have questions in the meantime. This is a small group of people that are invited to join Future Business Leaders Academy, and because it's special, we mail every individual a special welcome kit, and we mail it specifically to you. So please join to get your welcome kit. You're also going to have lifetime access to a private Facebook group, so you can have questions and get your questions answered not only by members of the Business Sales Strategies team, but also by your peer groups, because peer-to-peer learning is very powerful. But of course, you have access to the Business Sales Strategies team, and we check the Facebook group often and make sure that you're getting full value and all your questions answered. And Business Sales Strategies, like I said, we are a full-out agency. Therefore, we travel to a lot of conferences. And so, as a member of the Future Business Leaders Academy, you will get notified when Business Sales Strategies is hitting the road. And if you happen to be in a city where we are, when we're there, we'd love to meet up with you, buy you a drink, get a cup of coffee, and hang out and brainstorm and mastermind. So, just to bring it all back, the benefits of joining Future Business Leaders Academy: you have a proven launch framework. You have a community of like-minded small and medium-sized business owners and owners in the making. So there are people that are already business owners that are in our community, and we want you to join it. The biggest benefit is you'll know exactly what to do next. There's no more being lost, okay? You have a proven launch framework. This is a system. I showed you screenshots. I show you screenshots, dollars and cents of someone that has gone through this and is actually producing dollars. It can be you. It can be next. Like I said, you will not be lost at any point in the process, because that is the point. And you'll know exactly how to invest your dollars effectively in your business to get real results and real returns. So at the end of the day, being strategic in your actions is how you're going to grow. And that's how you grow most effectively and not wasting time, energy, and money. And the most important benefit of Future Business Leaders Academy is that you get to achieve the vision that you've had for so long but couldn't quite get it off the ground. So again, in summary, this is a 6-week group coaching program, and we take you in every phase from the discovery to the launch intensive. We have a bunch of bonuses included. Again, we have recorded phone calls, we mail a welcome kit to you, and lifetime access to our private Facebook group. Now, I do have to tell you, this is an exclusive group, and there are only 36 spots available. So if you're interested, please do sign up. Click the button below to get a sign up for a free strategy call. And like I said, there's only 36 spots available, so only 36 people are going to be able to be enrolled in the Future Business Leaders Academy. We want to keep delivering a ton of value, and so we don't want to make the class too big where we can't serve everyone and make sure that everyone has success. So if you're interested, we're offering a free strategy call for people that are interested in learning more about the Future Business Leaders Academy. We're not going to keep this offer up for forever. It's just going to be open for a small window. So there are only 36 spots available. And if you're interested, if you feel that Future Business Leaders Academy is right for you, please do click the button below and sign up for a free strategy call. Thank you so much for joining me on the webinar today. I hope you received a ton of value with those 7 tactics and really understanding the secret that processes are what differentiate a successful business leader from someone that is running out of gas and running on E, whose battery is low and not able to build an enduring business. And that's not what we want. We want people that have enduring businesses and, again, have a process for profit and success. So if that is you and that is what you want, please consider joining Future Business Leaders Academy. Again, it's a 6-week group coaching program. We take you all the way from beginning through launch, and we'll be there. You have access to this private Facebook group. So even after the 6 weeks are over, you still have access to the community. And you can take the group coaching program again if you like. We mail the welcome kit to you. Join the community if you're interested. Free strategy call. Thanks again for joining today, and I hope that you found a lot of value out of it. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.